Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Xmen Starjammers Chod Build-A-Figure. Here we have Monet St. Croix. This is the first of the few Generation X figures in this wave. Monet St. Croix, Chamber, and then Kid Omega is actually from the newer iteration of Generation X. She comes with the left leg to the Chod Build-A-Figure. And again, this is essentially just, the Rhino Abomination pieces there. So we'll stick that off to the side and look at it all together at the end of the wave. In terms of accessories, Monet St. Croix comes with an extra pair of hands. So out of the package, she has a fist on the left and then the open right hand, which I already switched out with the left. And then we get the left open hand. So two open hands, two fists. Looking at the package, we get the Xmen logo there, Xmen logo up at the top, artwork of Monet St. Croix there on the side, looking pretty good. Here's the Chod Build-A-Figure, and you can see number 3. We're kind of midway through the review, the wave itself, and then is all, that she comes with the Build-A-Figure piece and then the extra hands. That's about it. Let's go ahead and get the package out of the way, and let's go ahead and zoom in and take a closer look at Monet St. Croix. And this is definitely a pretty good figure. I think it's definitely going to be one of the highlights of the wave for sure. Okay, so taking a close look at Monet St. Croix, the face sculpt looks really, really good. I like the way it came out. She's got long hair. It's not too heavy. It's pretty thin, which is good. But because of that, she can't look up at all or anything like that. So not really a surprise. So just a heads up on that. We do get some new pieces here. So the upper torso is a new piece. As you can see, it has the sculpted X logo there as part of the zipper pull. So that is new, the upper torso. These shoulders, we have these shoulder pads, but they can easily move along with the arm, which is really nice. So I'm glad they, they figured out how to do that. They do that. They've done that with like Iron Man figures and stuff. So nice to see that, get applied in lots of other places. She's got these gold gauntlet pieces, and these are just kind of like soft plastic overlays like over the arm and everything. I think they're glued on there. Like I popped the hand off and I tried to pull on it. I didn't want to pull too hard. Didn't come off, but I feel like it's just a separate piece on there. Now looking at the lower legs, these just gold molded plastic there. But if you notice, there's gold paint there on the back. Well, that might be paint, or if it's just the molded plastic, because these boot pieces are actually just overlays. So you can feel for them. They kind of freely move around in there. So you have the whole leg piece that's in there. And then again, just this overlay piece. So it's like a gold color that's painted on under there, and then this boot is just on over it. I like the way they do that. See, you can kind of do the boot with a kneecap, but then it not actually be part of the kneecap itself. As you can see, we have a separate kneecap. But like when you do something like that, the armor of the boot actually sticks with it, and I really like the way that came out. It's sturdy on there. It's not floating around or being annoying in any kind of way. And it looks pretty good. So Hasbro doesn't have to sculpt completely brand new lower legs. It can have regular lower legs and then throw on these overlay pieces to kind of switch things up. And I think it actually works out quite effectively this go around. But there is Monet St. Croix looking really good. The X logo there on the gauntlet, on her belt there. Yeah, figure looks really nice. I think this is definitely one of the highlights of the wave, and I think one of the ones that people are really going to want to pick up pretty early on. So let's go ahead and take a look at our articulation now. Okay, so articulation, Monet St. Croix, her head is on a disc hinge, so she can look down that much. The hair just kind of really goes with it, but she's not going to be able to look up at all. And look at that, I just popped the head right on off of there. Let's pop that head back on there. You can do some pivot and twist on there a little bit, but again, the hair really does get in the way. The shoulder you can get to go straight on out, and again, full rotation there, and the shoulder pad will actually move with the arm, which is nice. We get an upper bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbow, which gives us a nice solid bend there at the elbow. The gauntlet actually doesn't really get in the way, which is really good. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge on the fists as well as the open hands. It does get a little bit tight in there with the design of this gauntlet piece, having that back hand plate piece. and so you just kind of have to really grip to kind of swivel around the hands. But she can tilt to her left that much on that diaphragm cut. She could tilt to her right, which is really good. Going back, she can a little bit, but the hair is going to kind of hinder that and get in the way. Coming forward is very little, but, you know, that's kind of what we expect, and that's actually a little bit more than some other figures. Like Emma Frost doesn't move at all, so at least we get some movement there. You get a swivel in that diaphragm as well. Legs go out that far apart. She can kick forward that high, which is really good. Leg goes back a little bit. You got an upper thigh cut in there. Solid double jointed knee, which gives you that much bend there at the knee. There's no calf swivel or anything like that. Of course, I don't know. I'm sure some female figures have it, but these ones don't. Foot hinges down a little bit. The armor boot piece does hinder that a little bit. Like the foot hits it in the back there, so be aware of that. You get some hinge up still. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet, and that boot armor doesn't really get in the way when it comes to the ankle pivot, which is good. So there is Monet St. Croix, or just M for short. Okay, so the Generation X team, they actually attend a school in Massachusetts, not the New York Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. So that school that they come from, that Generation X is based in, is actually headed up by Banshee and Emma Frost. So I thought I'd kind of show them in here along with you guys. Jubilee, another key member of Generation X. We don't have a specific Generation X Jubilee figure. It would be nice to kind of see the team with these matching outfits, like having the red and stuff. We have the Chamber figure in this wave, which isn't a look that he seems to have a lot of. And again, I'm not real familiar with it from the comics. You know, when kind of going through and reading up on it a little bit and checking images, you know, Chamber does have a suit, you know, that has some of these colors with the X belt and everything like that. But the Chamber figure that we got doesn't represent kind of the matching team uniform. Would be nice to get that. Would be really nice to get a Jubilee in the matching Generation X suit as well. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. We'll see. It's kind of odd. I don't know why she doesn't want to stand. This actually, the figure holds up really well. There's no issues there. I guess it's just kind of have her leaning back a little bit. Maybe that's it. But yeah, maybe one day we'll see the whole Generation X team. I'm not sure. You guys let me know down in the comments below. Would you like to see the whole Generation X team be released? Which one would you like to see next? I know people are going to be curious if like the Jubilee head sculpt fits on there. I'd have to look at the other Jubilee heads, but the teenage body that Jubilee was on, you can see the ball peg was so much smaller for the head sculpt, so there's just no way that is something that would work on there. So cannot be done, unfortunately. Okay, so here is our Chad Build-A-Figure wave so far. So the 4 figures that we've looked at, Cyclops first, then it was Emma Frost, and then we just finished up with Fang earlier today, and now here with Monet St. Croix. Next up in the line is going to be Corsair is going to be next. That'll be a good one. We get the Summers family together. But you guys let me know down in the comments below. What do you think of this Monet St. Croix figure? Are you happy that we're getting some Generation X figures? I know a lot of folks are that enjoyed those stories. But yeah, I think the wave is rounding out to be a pretty good one. We're definitely getting a good mix of characters. A couple of astonishing X-Men, you know, tie into the Shi'ar Empire. A couple of Generation X. So it's pretty nice, kind of the mixture of this wave. You know, I wasn't always the biggest fan of those X-Men waves. The full set was like a full theme, like Age of Apocalypse, House of X, Age of Apocalypse Wave 2. While I did think that they were cool, it doesn't spread the wealth of, you know, character selection, different team-ups and things like that. Whereas a wave like this, where it focuses on, you know, 2 to 3 different teams and stuff, it really checks the box for a lot of folks, a lot of different collectors. So I like when they do it this way. But you guys let me know your thoughts on that down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.